Hey, everybody, and welcome to the latest and greatest episode of the Fangirl Radio Show. I'm your host, Jessica Dwyer, and with me tonight is my lovely and talented co-host, Mr. Eric Smith.
Hey everyone.
And this week is a great week for action movie buffs because as of this airing tonight, Fury Road starts. And I'm excited. Words can't do justice. I'm so happy. It's getting like 10 ratings, like 10.0 out of 10 and 98, I think it's like 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's ridiculous. And I found out something interesting while talking to a friend of mine, and that is, this movie we've been waiting for this movie for a while.
hmm
And apparently when it test screened like 2 or 3 years ago, I mean, this movie has been in the works forever. It literally was filmed, I think, 7 years ago or something. Like a ridiculous amount of time has passed.
hmm
And when it first did test screenings, it tested horribly, like horribly horrible. People hated it. And
Really?
and I had a friend acquaintance of mine that saw it and said he absolutely apparently hated the film. And they listened to all the feedback from the audiences, which was, there's no plot, there's no, it's just craziness on screen, which I don't have a problem with if it's
Right.
done great. But apparently there was like no sort of anything to it. So I guess they took to heart for once the actual good criticism and made the changes. And so now you've got this movie that's blowing people away and calling it the best action film in the last 10 years.
Well, I'm assuming it's because he added dancing penguins.
That always makes things better, doesn't it? Dancing penguins, penguins with rocket launchers on their backs,
I
that.
just, I'm just shocked that the same director, the guy that made Mad Max, made Happy Feet.
Well,
You know,
the thing the thing that I'm happy about and I've been fighting with people is that they have been trying to say that this is a remake, and it's not a remake. It is a
no, I
continuation of the Mad Max story. And a lot of people don't realize that. And what I even find cool, even more cool, and if this is true, is the fact that the lead bad guy from the original Mad Max is
mhm.
actually playing the bad guy in this, the guy with the
Oh,
skull on
cool,
his face. He he
nice.
he came back, and he is actually the one doing it. And I think that's awesome.
Now, do we talk about the controversy that's erupted?
You mean- I'm just tickled. I am
It's
tickled. It is so stupid.
it is so funny and so sadly scary at the same time.
Apparent, and what we're talking about, Eric, I'm going to let you go with this one because I am a mature feminist woman, and I support my brothers here. So I'm
Well,
going to let the male talk about this.
it's one of these men's rights groups, which just on the face of that is ridiculous. But one of these men's rights groups is saying that Mad Max Fury Road is feminist propaganda because, according to them, Charlize Theron is the main character, and Hollywood is trying to shove feminism down our throats, and they have all these very I can't even say well reasoned, but they're trying to sound well reasoned arguments about how a woman could never actually be a survivor in the apocalypse. And it's just so ridiculous.
I
It's
just
just insanity.
I just the thing that I find funny is who was the big badass in the third Mad Max film, which was called Beyond Thunderdome? Who was that? Who was wearing the 50-pound chainmail outfit in Mad Max Beyond Thunder? I think it was a woman. Wait, who was it? It was Tina Turner. Tina Turner, who I think at that point was over 50
Yeah.
and was wailing in that movie.
It's,
Plus, you have the leader of the kids in that flick who was
mm-hmm.
a teenage girl.
Mm-hmm. But, apparently, I guess they're calling for a boycott
God, oh,
of the movie. And
good
it's
luck
just,
with that.
it hurts my brain to imagine that this is real.
I can't
I
even fathom well, I can though. This is the time of Gamergate and all of that crap. And I guess seeing a strong female role in a movie like this. I mean, people seem to forget about Sigourney Weaver and Linda Hamilton in the sci-fi universe because this is like really anymore. This is like the place you can go to find a really strong female character. This is the place, the science
mhm,
fiction and fantasy. And Charlize is shown, she can do this. She is amazing.
mhm.
And I'm floored that they're butthurt over a strong woman being an equal to Max in
Yeah.
this. I just don't
It's
understand.
it's probably the best laugh I've had all day when I read that.
So
Just so ridiculous.
I thought it was like a parody. I thought it was fake.
Yeah.
I thought it was fake. It's not
That's
fake.
things like this are just so far beyond that they all seem like they're supposed to be parodies, and yet so many of them aren't, which is just sad. It's
I'm
just sad.
I know it's just I'm floored by how goofy I really am. So yes, it is the week of Mad Max Fury Road, which I think is going to be the surprise of summer. I really do. And it's in 3D too. You can see it in 3D. I don't think it's in IMAX at all, which is a sad, sad shame because my God, can you imagine?
It just looks amazing on my TV.
I know. And
So seeing it on the big screen in 3D has got to be mind blowing.
well, and the other thing that is cool about this movie is the fact that it's 95% practical effects.
Yeah.
They were that psychotic that they really did that crap. They like the flinging around on the long poles on the trucks
Hmm.
and all of that. The only things that are like CG in this are the sandstorm itself
Hmm.
and her arm. That's it. I mean that
Wait. Oh, see, she wasn't willing to cut her own arm off for this role.
I know she's a wimpy little woman, Eric. What do you
Wow.
want from her? She's a wimpy little woman. She can't go that extra mile. But speaking of arm losses, segue. So, yes, you're going to get spoiled if you have not seen what we're going to talk about of our TV updates because there was a ton of finales and things that happened and premieres. And the big one was the 2 hour season finale of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And crap got real on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It went down and it
I
was
have to
awesome.
say, I was a little disappointed in this episode overall, but there were some very good things, and our little segue moment that we were sort of dancing around was one of the things I loved.
Yeah, I was not expecting that.
No.
I went, it was one of the, yeah, no, this is something happened in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that only happens on The Walking Dead, and that is someone got an arm lopped off, and that person was Phil Coulson.
Yeah.
And this is leading to him having some kind of crazy Iron Man designed arm gun thing that is going to be awesome.
So basically, it's been the week or 2 weeks for people in Marvel getting their arms cut off.
Basically, yeah, yeah, a good point. Yeah. So it's just been it's been a fun time for Marvel, but Agents of Shield really because I got some more Marvel news later on, but Agents of Shield really I think out of the two-hour finales that happened on ABC, this was by far the better of the two. The other was Once Upon a Time, which we'll get to, but um, I got to tell you, my favorite part of this entire season has been Kyle MacLachlan.
I love Kyle MacLachlan, but I thought Mr. Hyde looked like poor
He didn't
kid's Halloween costume.
he didn't look great, but
Oh, it's horrible.
he looked weird, and I still don't know if that was really Kyle MacLachlan or someone else because it was
Yeah, it
so
was hard to
weird.
tell,
Um, which is props to the costume, I guess, that we couldn't figure it out.
but it looked so bad
His
to me.
veins looked cheesy.
Yeah.
But I loved his character. I
Well,
loved his scenes with with Skye and how he just was so nuts.
Well, Kyle MacLachlan's performance the whole season has been fantastic.
Oh yeah, no, he was
I just
great.
he's been a standout on the series.
And I liked how they tied up his storyline. I thought
Yeah, that was.
that was sweet.
Well, I thought it was going to be they were going to kind of pull back and show him in maybe a he was in cryostasis or something. That's just what they were pumping into his head. Was what I thought at first, but of course it turned out to be
Tahiti.
yeah.
Yeah, they Tahiti'd him. But I really liked. I was worried that they were going to rush everything with the whole run up to. I actually thought last week's was the finale, and I was like, oh, it's not. They're actually. Oh, there's 2 hours, and they actually utilized the time well. And I think it was pretty evenly paced, as opposed to what Once Upon a Time felt like. And I actually liked everything that happened. I even and it was funny. My friend Joe on Facebook posted this because I hadn't gotten to see it yet. He didn't spoil anything. He just said that the final 10 minutes was the most Whedon-esque 10 minutes of any show he'd ever seen, and he was
Yeah, I could see
right.
that.
He totally was right. I mean, we had the bittersweet daughter father moment. We had the mommy death. We had Coulson losing a limb. And then after you think everything that could happen has happened, Fitzsimmons. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
the asking her on a date and that whole angsty thing, and then all of a sudden whatever the hell that thing is. And
Yeah,
also, by the way, I love Mac. Mac was great. Mac's like, the hell we're opening that.
yeah,
No, no. He's the most practical one. He's like, F that. No,
yeah.
no, we're not doing that. Um, Simmons gets blobbed.
Blobbed, exactly the word I
Blobbed
was
and
going
then
to use.
cubed, I guess is the word. And we don't really know what the hell that thing is. Now, was that the same thing? Now, I gotta ask because I can't remember. Was that the same thing that the scientists fell into in season one? The
No, I
guy
don't think so because that was metal
was
and it
it,
was silver, wasn't it?
I, but it did that same
Wasn't that a
thing.
silver metal?
Yeah,
Well,
maybe.
he fell in, and then his at the end of that episode, his face kind of came out
Yeah,
of it.
and it was like some weird material that did that morphine thing that this thing does. So I'm kind
But
of
does it morph, or does it just become blobby and then
I,
becomes that weird
well, we
monolith-looking thing
don't
again?
really know. We
Yeah.
don't know what it is. So it's a mystery, and we don't know what happens to Simmons. And Simmons is kind of pissing me off anyway. But I like Ward's finale moment where he's basically putting together his own little team Hydra.
Well, the other, my favorite moment was Colston losing his hand.
Which is so out of the blue, like, oh shit.
My other favorite moment was Ward and his girlfriend and the bad thing that happened there. I can't
Oh,
remember her name. Agent 33. I
Agent
can't remember her real
33.
name.
That was awesome.
When she shows up and just blam, blam, blam.
Yeah, and no hesitation on his part, and then he realizes what he's done.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Yeah, Whedon. There is a
Yeah,
Whedon moment.
exactly.
There is a hardcore Whedon moment right there. The only person that ever really truly loved him for who he was, and he kills her.
Yeah,
It's like, shoot, this is a Buffy moment. Oh
I like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Um,
So Agents of Shield, that was some phenomenal
but
stuff.
I'm being a cynic, the cynic that I am. The whole time I was watching it, I just kept thinking, this is Marvel making their new version of the X-Men that they can use.
Well, they're setting up the Inhumans.
Which,
We
is
already know we're getting a movie, and
right, but
he's setting up Sky to be in that.
I'm looking at I guess the negative way, the fact that they can't have the X-Men in the MCU. That's what the Inhumans are going to be, and this was just them set. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing. The Inhumans could be cool, but unfortunately, my brain just kept going. Yep, these are the new X-Men with air quotes. I'm doing air quotes. Can't you see that?
It's true. It's true. But I'm excited about it because they're weirder and
Hmm.
kookier, and we know that weird and kooky works for the Marvel Cinematic Universe because we've been shown that by Guardians. So
Hmm. Mhm.
I'm excited, and Sky has come into her own. I actually hate it. Everyone knows I did not like her at all at the beginning, and she has definitely become awesome.
Did
I'm
they call her Tremor?
Trimmers, yeah, they called her Trimmers.
That's what I thought.
There was some really good lines in this. This was some Whedon dialogue. Jed Whedon, I think, is definitely as good as his brother when it comes to writing some witty dialogue. And every so often, you hear things sneak into that. And I also,
Mhm.
by the way, Twitter today,
Mhm.
I tweeted back to. Um, Clark Gregg because he was saying something about a fan of his had a name that rhymed with TARDIS, and he said he was going to write a love song about a TARDIS to rhyme with her name, and
Okay,
and I tweeted him a line of song, and he liked it, and I'm like,
nice.
my God, he's a Whovian. That's when you think Phil Coulson can't get any better. He is in fact a fanboy, and he likes Doctor Who. But I was very happy with it. I, it, moving on to Once Upon a Time because
Mhm.
I know we have some guests this today, and I want to make sure we have the good enough time for them to talk to us. But Once Upon a Time, um, the problem with this show, and it keeps happening, is that when they get to a finale, they write themselves into a corner where they have to rush through everything. And this season was no different. They gave Maleficent a daughter who had it. They did this whole thing where they show her connection to Emma, and they rushed through that. Which they do this thing where they stretch out storylines and then they have to rush at the end to finish it all up. And in a 2-hour finale, we went to an alternate universe of the fairy tale world,
Mhm.
and we had the reveal of the fact that Maleficent doesn't know who the father of her baby is because he was a dragon when they had sex.
All right.
And
That's
Rumpelstiltskin,
common.
yeah, it's just there were so many things bombarding us, and at the end of the episode, um, they rushed through it so much. I just can't really do justice to how fast they did it. But at the end of the episode, they leave us with Rumpelstiltskin has been redeemed by the evil blackness that was within him from the Dark One being sucked into an alternate reality in the hat. And then it gets into Emma, and Emma is now the Dark One, and that's how it ends.
Makes
So,
perfect sense.
yeah. And really, I don't think Eric even watches Once Upon a Time. And his reaction is exactly what mine was in a lot of it because it was so rushed. And I'm like, you had an entire. This is good stuff. This whole alternate thing with Rumpelstiltskin being a good guy,
Mhm.
and all of these different tweaks. Like Snow White was evil, but it was that was horrible to watch. Her okay, the gal that plays Snow White, who I'm blanking on her name right now, but
Is that Jennifer Goodwin?
Jennifer Goodwin.
Okay.
How they made her evil is they gave her like a little puff of hair on her head, trying to make her mini Regina, and
Okay.
it was just laughable. And they made Charming look like he had bags under his eyes because he was under her thrall because she had his heart that she could control him with, and
Mhm.
it was just bad. She's just not good at playing an evil character. She's not believable as an evil character. It'd be different if like you could really buy her as a bad guy, but no, it was just bad.
Well, everybody knows when you're doing an evil twin, if it's a guy, they have to have
Have
a
a
beard.
goatee, yeah,
And
yeah.
if it's a woman, you have to give them like a scar on their eye.
She didn't have a scar on her. She had puff of hair
See,
because her
then
hair
how
is
do you even
so
know she's
short.
evil?
It was just bad. It was just bad. If you were gonna do this, make the whole, the thing with Once Upon a Time, it's gotten old. This whole thing with them being stuck with the Enchanted Forest and all of that. At
Mhm.
this point, with it being I think 4 seasons now or five, and they've been renewed, they need to stretch from this into they got that whole thing they set up with the Frankenstein storyline,
Right.
and they've done nothing with it. They've not gone into any other worlds other than Oz. Um,
Hmm.
they could go into Dracula, they could go into the back into Frankenstein. They've set themselves up, especially with this whole author thing. I love that aspect of it. Basically, any book.
Hmm.
any book, and they don't do it. Anything that's public domain, those guys can get into, and
Right.
they've not done it. And so it's just, to me, it's a waste of a really cool plot twist, especially since Gothica didn't happen on ABC. They left it
Right.
open where they could do that. Um, but moving on to and by the way, it was renewed. We are getting a second season. I Zombie.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the show. And now I realize why it had to happen. I knew it because I was just starting to really like him.
No, poor Lowell.
Oh, Lowell. Lowell. Great episode. We've found out that Rami is not going to be a zombie.
Yes.
I'm kind of disappointed. I kind of wanted that to happen.
I want him to turn into a were-rat.
That would wear a rat zombie, like having. I thought he was going to end up like having a hunger for rat brains.
No, I
That's
think,
what I
see,
thought was going to happen.
because of the cross species, instead of being any zombie, he'll become a were-rat.
Oh,
I
oh,
should be writing for that show.
you should be. But as we know, Lowell bit the big one, and I'm not talking about a brain. Blaine blew him away, which is just testament to how awesomely evil Blaine
Yes,
is.
Blaine is awesome.
Blaine is awesome and
And
unashamedly evil.
I always get so pissed off when something like this happens where she doesn't take the shot.
I
I'm like, come on, just do it.
Yeah, and now what did you do? I hope you're racked with effing guilt, Liv. I hope it racks you to death.
I mean, I love where the story went because of it,
Yeah.
but in anything, I'm just like, come on. And she's talking about taking a life. He's a zombie.
Yeah, you're not really taking a life there, hun. You're saving how many people?
He's a zombie. You know he's murdering people. Just shoot him.
But just so you guys know why Lowell had to die, he is the Antichrist. Did you know this, Eric?
Wait, is he in Lucifer?
He's Damien in the Omen series that's coming to,
Oh, okay.
I believe it's A&E. And
Oh,
yeah, and it's actually done by the guy that did Breaking Bad. I think it's Vince Gilligan. Let me take a look
Vince
here.
Gilligan?
Yeah, or one of the guys that helped do Breaking Bad. And it's going to be this summer, or I'm sorry, this fall. And it's actually completely off. It's next year, and it's going to be kind of following that whole thing with A&E did with Bates Motel, where they're going to
Okay.
tweak the story. And I'm sorry, Glenn Mazzara. Yeah, I was right. And Walking Dead, the guys that did The Walking Dead.
Okay.
And so he is Damien, so he had to die,
Okay.
which I'm okay with that. And the other cool thing, kind of tying into this as well, is that from Once Upon a Time. Oh, it's not Lena Headey. What's her name? I'm blanking again. I'm a horrible person. But the mother, Barbara Hershey. There, it popped in my
Okay.
head. I was like, candy bar, candy bar. Barbara Hershey. Barbara Hershey is actually in this as well, and she played Regina's mother in
Right.
Once Upon a Time. So you know she's going to be wonderfully evil.
Hmm.
And I'm really excited about this because they've done pretty well with Bates Motel. It's and yeah, so that's happening. Uh,
Cool.
but I'm gonna turn this over to Eric right now for his Flash recap for Rogue Air.
Well, a fantastic episode of The Flash, and just packed to the gills with guest stars, including one of your favorite people of all time, Doug Jones.
I know he's back.
He was in it.
He's so
But
good.
I mean, you had Captain Cold, Golden Glider, Peekaboo, The Mist, Rainbow Raider,
Jesus.
uh, Death, Death Beam, Death something. I don't know Doug Jones' character. I can't remember his name. He shoots beams out of his eyes.
Dead,
Doug Jones did.
not Deadshot.
No, not Deadshot. It's Death something.
Yeah.
And then you had Arrow and Firestorm. All these characters showing up. It was just insane. And of course, Captain Cold, Wentworth Miller, was deliciously evil, as always. And next week is the finale, so it's all been building
Yeah,
like
and
crazy.
and they're building up for their new series that they're going to be doing, which is basically a group spinoff, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's going to be awesome. So we are excited about that. And just kind of as an aside for that, if you've not checked it out, it's on fangirlmag.com. The 8-minute trailer for Supergirl
Hmm.
is out, and we have it posted, and it looks great.
At the beginning, I'm watching the beginning of the trailer, and I'm thinking, oh, it's Devil Wears Prada. What are
Yeah,
we looking at here? But then once they get into it, it's still very lighthearted. But
it's very
I kind
Flash.
of like, I kind of like some of the stuff that was in that trailer.
Yeah, and I like Jimmy Olsen too. And
Hmm.
and I like the twist that they've done with the character for him that he's come there to help her out.
Right.
And also Buffy alum, yay.
Hmm.
Um but I'm like I was just surprised by how much I liked that it looked like it had that lightness to it like Superboy ad
Right.
and all of those classic like Lois and Clark. It didn't have like that DC film universe taint to it where it's all gray and
Yeah,
horrible.
it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Um, it's not going to shy away from the superpowers, obviously.
Right.
And I like the little costume montage, of course.
She looks
And
great too. It's not like typically they're making those outfits kind of skimpy,
mhm,
and I that annoys me. This one it's cute and it looks just like her outfit.
right. And I like the thing with well, we need a new cape.
I know it's like,
This one got shredded.
but yeah, I was really happy with it. I thought it was awesome. And just a real quick to end up our TV update, Penny Dreadful episode 2. Holy crap. If you're not watching Penny Dreadful right now, you really need to. Besides the fact that we have witches and they're hardcore witches that kind of are smacking of Elizabeth Bathory, um, in this episode, we really were introduced to the Bride of Frankenstein more, and we saw this is horrible scene. Um, we saw her rip out the heart of a baby. Um, the
Nice.
the lead witch makes these horrifying. She's got this room full of these horrifying dolls, and they are what you're implied is all of these dolls contain the heart of a child, and that's how
Nice.
she gets her power over these people that they're representing. So she sacrifices the life of an innocent for the power of these over these. Oh my God, it's some dark stuff.
Well,
Um,
I want to be perfectly clear here. In fiction, I love killing children. In fiction, I love it when a storyteller is willing to go there because that's like animals and kids are the things people don't like to see being hurt, and I like to see when a storyteller is willing to go there and do that in fiction.
Yes, yes. No, it's fine. And yeah, this was just painful. It was really well done. And it was a nod to, I think, to Dracula because
Hmm?
of in the original novel he feeds a child, a baby to his brides. So
It's
really
like Beale.
no. No, Eric, no. Bad, bad Eric. So let's go over our Week in Geek really quickly. Uh, Jim and the Not Holograms has hit online like a dead puppy. Let's stick with his like thought process of dead animals until this
Yes.
is a really good, yeah, this is a good comparison. No one likes this trailer. No one likes what they have done. No one.
I
They're
heard your heart break all the way over here in Ohio.
oh, I knew it was going to suck, but the amount of suck
Hmm.
has just really been blown open wide with this trailer, and um, the fact that they changed the only way I guess their way of empowering women
Hmm.
is they changed the bad guy to a bad girl. Eric Raymond is now Erica Raymond. and is Juliette Lewis. That's
Alrighty.
I it makes my head hurt. If you really want to read my thoughts on it, go to fangirlmag.com. I dare you to watch the trailer and not cringe at least 3 times. And then think, oh my God, it's the Ultimate Warrior with pink. Because for some reason, the crazy eye makeup that was pretty extreme already they've just made half her face look like the pink Braveheart. I don't know. It just horrible, horrible
Well,
thing.
everyone should just skip that and go back and watch Josie and the Pussycats.
Yeah, really, truly, that movie is actually fun.
I love that
I
movie.
love that movie. Seth Green in that movie is awesome.
That is Parker Posey
Everybody's good in
and
it.
Alan Cumming. They're all fantastic. It's a hilarious movie.
Um, if you want to watch a really good trailer, really, really good trailer,
Hmm.
they have just released, I think today, actually yesterday as of this airing, the 2 new full Crimson Peak trailers. There's an international one that has extra stuff on it, and then there is the US, I guess, based one. And oh my God, it looks amazing. There's so much good in this. I can't even watch it without grinning like a freak. Like
Lots of Hiddleston goodness.
it's not just Hiddleston. It wouldn't even have to be Hiddleston. That's just like icing upon icing upon icing. It's just beautiful and gothic and gorgeous and lush and so just beautifully done. The color, it looks just like a painting come to life. So pretty. And this I'm just in my mind I'm trying to figure out, okay, how's this gonna go? What's the story? What's the story? But he's keeping it vague enough that you can't guess. You don't
Good.
really know. And that's great. That's awesome. So we'll have those up for you on the site as well. Really quickly before we bring in on our special guests, they revealed who the female Thor is in the comics. They revealed it early, even before that the issue hit. I don't
Hmm.
know why they did that. But it sadly I guessed who this was. And I'm sad
I'm
that I guessed
trying to
it.
remember if you told us who you thought it was.
It's Jane Foster.
Who else would it be?
Yeah.
You know?
And I mean, I was like, a lot of people thought it was Angela, and I thought that they might do that, and then I realized they were doing an Angela comic.
Hmm.
I'm like, well, it's not Angela if she's got her own damn comic book. So yeah, and then we realized, yeah, I'm like, well, it's probably Jane Foster, and I didn't realize that Jane Foster in the comics was fighting cancer. So they showed this picture of her, and she's like bald and emaciated looking, and but when she holds the hammer, she's powerful
Right.
and everything. So I don't know why they revealed it before the comic came out though. So
Did they reveal it or was it leaked?
they apparently Marvel released it, I
Hmm.
guess. So it was their choice. With that, we were going to do a quick recap of the winners and losers of the TV season, but I don't think we have time. I'll tell you a couple that I'm very happy about. Gallivant's coming back,
Yay.
which I'm very, very thrilled with.
Love that show.
Agent Carter is coming back.
Hmm?
And in reality, we didn't. The only thing we truly lost, there were 2 that we truly lost that I was sad about, and that was Constantine, which may be coming
Oh,
back.
sad.
It may be coming back
Hmm.
on another like Netflix or Hulu. But the other one I was very sad was Forever. I actually enjoyed that show, and Ian Gufford did a great, very touching little sweet letter to the fans about that, about it being canceled, and that was very sweet. The one thing that surprised me though, I can't believe is still going.
Hmm.
Supernatural.
Isn't every year the final year and then
11 seasons. It's the longest running horror series ever that I can think of. I mean, it beat Dark Shadows.
hmm
It's beaten Twilight Zone,
X-Files?
X-Files. It already beat X-Files by like a
Hmm.
two like last season. So yeah, it has officially I think is the longest running horror series ever. So yeah, Supernatural. You go, guys. Keep it. I'm amazed. I am truly amazed. So, with that, I want to welcome my very special guest tonight, from the world of independent horror, which we support quite permanently here. Is Mr. Ryan Stacy, who we've had on the show before as a calling guest.
Yes. You know, I was actually hi, and I was just thinking about that, Jessica. You bringing that up. It's been almost 2 years since I've actually called into your show.
I know, and we actually were just talking about Once Upon a Time.
Don't even get me started.
I did a little rant for you. But Ryan is bringing with him as well his lead actress, I believe, from his new feature that he is getting ready to film, which is called Ladies' Night, and which is based off of a short that you did. And it's going to be an expanded version. Miss Amanda Collins, welcome to Fangirl Radio.
Hi, thanks for having me.
We are very excited to have you guys. And but yes, we did. Ryan was on a couple of years ago, as he said, when we had our special about fairy tales. And,
yes.
And yeah, I did a mini rant about Once Upon a Time. Don't even get me started on Once Upon a Time again. We'll be here all
I believe
night.
I was also. Sorry to interrupt you, Jessica, but I believe I also came on and called in on an episode that dealt with women in horror.
Yes, you did, and you did one on musicals too, horror musicals.
Mm-hmm.
So Ryan is definitely a fangirl at heart, and
you said it, sister.
I know, and we are very happy to have you guys on the show. Now, I wanna talk to you about. The one thing that I love about you is that you are a hardcore independent horror director. You live it, and this has you've done a couple of features now, Midsummer Nightmares 1 and 2, and so what led to the idea behind Ladies' Night?
Well, to be honest, I came out of post-production on Midsummer 1, and we premiered it. And I was looking for something else to write other than the obvious sequel. And so I just came up with this whole reversal of that whole, that urban legend where a guy breaks down on the side of the road and ends up at the farmer's daughter's house, or the farmer's house and ends up with the daughter or whatever. I saw that there was an indie film like that later on, but what I wanted to do was take that, and instead of making it a farmer, it was just these three twisted girls who lured men to houses that they kind of squat in and take care of these guys in their own sadistic styles. And I started writing that, and then this was back when I was with Concept Media, and my partner at the time, Sean Burkett, came to me and said, hey, we should do a web series. And so I kind of just modified what I had written down into these 4 episodes called Depraved. And then the web series never happened, and I just needed to make a short film, and I just remember these scripts that kind of never left me. And at this point in time, real quick, I was, I still am very good friends with Miss Amanda here. And I kind of called her and was like, look, I'm getting ready to do this short. There's this character in it. Her name's Frankie. She's badass. How do you feel about it? And what'd you say, Lou?
I said, oh my God, yes. I was in 100%. I love it.
Because Frankie did weird shit. Like, she liked to paint with people's blood. She painted portraits of their death.
Oh.
Exactly.
Why is that weird?
Yeah. Why is that weird, Ryan? You have the blood.
Totally
You want to...
Come on.
Well, I just wanted to make it strange. And ironically enough, I guess it is ironic, Amanda's a painter. And it just it just happened to be that she was perfect. And I just went on from there, and somebody told me, hey, make it into a feature, and that's where we are now. That's literally the story.
So, what is the process for you as a filmmaker when you take a short subject and expand it? How does that work for you as a creator and writer?
Well, to be honest, it has been a challenge because it's really easy to write a script for a short film if you only have a cast of, let's say, 5 to 6 people. It's not hard to really flesh your characters out for that. But this script just called for so much more from the girls, Frankie, Camille, and Elaine. And these girls honestly live inside my head, and each one of these girls is a little fragment of me.
Should we be afraid? Amanda, does that freak you out a little bit?
No, it doesn't, because I know Ryan so well. Like, I can see every little piece of him, and Camille and Elaine and Frankie, and I think it's amazing because you can see Ryan and everything they say. You're like, it's Ryan. It's funny. I love it.
So, Amanda, as he said, you're an artist. Are you actually going to create? Because I know you haven't started filming this yet, correct, Ryan?
No, we have not.
Are you actually?
We'll be filming in the fall.
Awesome. Are you going to be creating are you going to be doing the portraits yourself?
No, I won't. My style of painting, I do silhouettes.
Ooh.
Everything I do is painted in silhouette. And ladies' nights, they're just more in depth and they need more detail. And detail is not my strong suit. I prefer my silhouette. So I can draw the silhouette.
We should just have a contest to see who paints the best picture to be used as Frankie's portrait in Ladies' Night.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yes.
Totally do that.
That'd be awesome.
Just came up with that idea right there.
There you go. That's what we inspire. That's what we inspire. So Ryan, the one thing I like about your work, and this was in Midsummer Nightmares as well, you're very, and it's kind of, this episode is kind of turned into a big feminist free-for-all. And it's funny because Sarah's not on because she's typically the flag holder for that. But you see women and show them with a lot of strength and character, and you can know that they can become crazy evil bitches when they want to be. And that's rare anymore. It seems like that's not the way people are going. And like with this whole brouhaha I love that. I had to use that word, brouhaha, with Mad Max Fury Road, where people are saying Charlize Theron cannot be a badass. A woman cannot be more badass than Mad Max. What
are you kidding me? That is insulting.
Yeah, that is the truth, though. There is a thing going on. And Amanda, this to you as well, as an actress. Yes. How does that piss you off to hear that?
Lou, I'll let you go first. Sorry, I call her Mandy Lou for short. So go ahead.
Oh no, it really pisses me off. And that's what I love again about the style and direction Ryan writes. He empowers women, and I think that's amazing because we are all equal. A woman can be just as badass as a man, if not more at times, because let's face it, women are pretty. And men are going to be with a man, and
sorry,
you just lure them in with your looks, and there you go, bam, done. I think it irritates me.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more, Amanda. And to answer, I mean, really, I am surrounded daily by so many strong women, and that's how I choose to portray my female characters. I write them that way, and I think that I don't want to say I'm so good at it because that just sounds really like kind of, vain, but I really enjoy it because, and I really firmly believe it is the fact that I'm gay and I think like a male and I feel like I can think like a female. And so it's easy for me to get into both sexes' heads, I feel.
Well, and when we first met, the line I said, and we clink glasses over this, was gay boys and fat girls forever. And and
I remember that.
I will remember that no matter how drunk I was. I will always remember that moment because you were grinning. You're like, yeah. and the truth is, I think there's a connection there because in film, those two things, women, and especially heavyset women, and and gay men have always been portrayed as weak. And when you see this kind of representation where they're strong, like I cannot wait for Hap and Leonard, because that Joe R. Lansdale series, the biggest badass in the books is a black gay man. He just kicks ass.
Oh, wow.
And he's amazing. And he's unabashedly gay. I mean, he's like, and he's like, basically taunts people like, come on, say something. Say something.
Well, I'm not familiar with the series you just mentioned, but that is very akin to a character I always appreciated, and that was Lafayette on True Blood.
Exactly.
They portrayed him the same way.
Yeah. You didn't mess with him because he didn't take it. And that's why I love when they when they're represented, like when gays are represented in a strong positive light, because everyone I've ever met for the most part has been a great strong individual and supportive of people.
Well, and that takes, for every person, I would say that is a personal journey of finding that strength and carrying it and wearing it proudly. And that is something I also have put into these characters. What's beautiful, just about Ladies' Night and these female characters being so powerful is they're not villains. Yes, these beautiful women are running around creating murder and mayhem at these parties and such. But these girls are also, I would more say that they're like anti-villains. They're like Catwoman.
Yeah.
You are there with them. You love them. But by the end of the movie, I want people cheering these girls on in this whole reverse exploitation thing. Because the men, and I actually cast 2 guys today who told me this remark after looking at some of the stuff from script. They said that they loved the gender role reversal where the females are strong and the men are your atypical, like, horror movie characters that are just there to be sexy and killed off.
That's what I was, because I looked at your press release for that and your casting call that you did, and I was reading that. I'm like, oh my God, they're eye candy. The guys are the eye candy. This is the best thing ever.
Exactly.
This is going to be a chick flick.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah,
that is so.
I do have if I can say something real quick in regards.
Oh, you're cool, man.
In regards to the empowerment of women that Ryan really writes very well. When I be like finding the character for Frankie within myself and portraying Frankie, who's this strong individual, I took some of that into my own life, and she actually empowered me as a person. And it really helped me in like my confidence because I was kind of shy. And I think playing this role, like Ryan really helped bring out that confidence in me as an actress and as Amanda Collins. It's in my everyday life. So I really hope that people watch this.
Sweet.
Thanks. So I really hope when women watch this, especially, they can take that away from it. Like, yeah, we're women. We still kick ass. Like, I hope they do take that away from the film.
That's awesome. Well, and
now,
go ahead, Ryan.
Sorry, I was just going to say, and Jessica, you can more than agree with this. Now is the time for empowered women. I feel kind of hypocritical making a movie called Ladies' Night and most of the crew is men, but now is the time for these stories, and now is the time for these characters, and now is the time for women to be making movies, and that story alone can be completely encased in those hard-ass working girls, the Selska sisters.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and that was the thing. I was amazed. I was so surprised and amazed by the constant line at Horror Hound Weekend when they were there. I was like, wow, this is great to see how, they have been embraced by horror fans for their work and how loving they were to their fans. That was phenomenal to see. Because I had not really spent a lot of time with them, and I was like, wow, these guys, they're great. They love their fans, and I mean, like, spent time with each and every one of them, and that was phenomenal. And they keep making their flicks are just over and over again. hit. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
These girls, from males and females to like alike, are definitely people that you should look up to as far as what can be paid off with hard work and dedication. And those girls tell people that all the time. And it's like, usually filmmakers don't like to share their secrets and encourage people, but not those girls. They're all about being supportive and supporting their other filmmaker brethren. And I think that's amazing.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
So Eric, did you have I'm kind of like taking over the conversation. Eric, do you have a question? You're over there like just listening to us and laughing.
Well, now that us Ohioans can just get together and chat here for a minute. Actually, I'm just wondering if either one of you sees any advantages or disadvantages to being part of the independent horror scene in Ohio.
I see a lot of advantages. Just how tight-knit and close the whole independent horror community is around here. It's amazing. Everybody's very supportive, very nice. And I don't know, it's just a great community to be a part of, and they really embrace you here, and there's so many opportunities.
I think people are surprised too by how much of a horror community there is in the Midwest. To this day, I don't think people realize just how big a deal horror and independent horror in particular and the filmmaking that goes on there. Because there's a lot. And everybody...
There is. It's huge here in Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I had no idea. I had no idea getting into this when I started 4 years ago, just how many people there were then making indie horror here. And then in the 4-year growth, watching all of the other people. And I think there are great advantages to the new filmmakers and the ones that have been at this a long time. We all kind of network. Like, there are other filmmakers around here whose projects I've heard of and seen, and I hear of these actors who are now working on my projects. So it's all, I mean, we all kind of benefit from each other. The symbiont circle.
That's awesome. Yeah. And so I think we're going to have to wrap up because I think we're almost out of time, but I just wanted to give you a moment to like pimp this new project and let everyone know how to get a hold of you if they want to help contribute or be a part of it, because I know you're still looking for some leads in this.
Well, if anyone needs any casting information or just details about the project, about how to be involved, you can email the production at ladiesnightmovie@gmail.com, or you can reach me on Facebook or any of the cast and crew. I did want to say something real quick before we wrap this up. Tonight I did cast 2 amazing actors, and so I told them I'd break the news on your show, Jessica.
There you go.
And joining my production today was David Parker and Josh Miller. They're both very talented Ohio actors, and they got a lot of projects coming up soon, so check them out on imdb.com. Mandy?
Nice.
I'm sorry?
Do you have anything, Mandy?
Oh. No, I think everybody, this project is going to be amazing. It's going to be a must-see. It's so much fun. You've got all your elements of a good independent horror movie. I mean, you've got your eye candy on both sides. You've got beautiful women, beautiful men, a great script, and it's going to have everybody on the edge of their seats. And I'm very excited for this.
This is awesome. And when can they expect it to hit, Ryan? Is there do you have a guesstimate on time frame when it'll be completed?
Yes, I'm hoping to have it out early 2016. My personal goal is to have this film out before I turn 30 next July.
You're such a baby. Oh my God. I'm so old.
I know. It is crazy.
So old.
I tell him that all the time. I'm like, honey, I hit 30 a couple years ago.
Oh God, I turn 40 next month. You're like stabbing me in the back with your young age.
See, I had no idea you were almost 40. You carry it well and you don't act it. So
Thanks.
So will you be having us on for your special age episode when you do it?
My special age episode. Sure. We'll have This Is Your Life, Jessica Dwyer, where everyone shows up because I'm about to die. And you have you all on. Oh, God.
It sounds like that movie from the 90s, It's My Party. Did you ever see that, Jessica?
Yes. God.
Where the gay guy's dying and he has all his friends over.
Is that Stephen, oh God, no, that's Stephen's friends. Oh, that's another one that's like that. Oh, Jesus, God. On that cheerful note, leave it to Ryan, man.
Womp womp.
Well, guys, thank you so much for being on. Amanda and Ryan, thank you. This was fun. We will definitely have you back on to talk about this when it's closer to release, for sure. And
well, I would love to come back.
And possibly on my death episode, which is June 20th.
Jessica Dwyer, the funeral. Like
I want you to direct my funeral, Ryan, please.
Start writing a eulogy.
Yeah, start writing a eulogy now.
Well, girl, you know what? It won't have, Whitney Houston's funeral won't have nothing on you.
Oh, God. God. With that, thank you guys. Thank you, Eric. I hope you enjoyed this episode. This just destroyed itself into like my funeral. But check out Ryan Stacy on Facebook, and Amanda Collins is on Facebook, Mandy Lou as well. You can find her on Twitter. I stalked her a little bit on Twitter. She's very pretty. And Ladies Night will be hitting hopefully next year. And also there is a casting call right now still. I believe he is still looking for male leads, and you can find that information. I will also post it on fangirlmag.com, but it is also on the Horror Hound webpage as well.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Jessica. You rock.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you next week.